how did you guys get into the
Well,
storage?
Anderson, actually, for 15 or 20 years, I was a top-ranked international male escort.
Behind the most explosive feud in Storage Wars stands a familiar face, Dave Hester. For years, fans have questioned what really happened behind the scenes of the show's most scandalous rivalries. But now, the full story is coming to light. What have viewers been missing all this time? And how could these revelations change the future of Storage Wars forever? Join us as we uncover the shocking truth behind the show's most infamous feud. Everyone dislikes Dave. Famous for his brash personality and explosive auction room energy, Dave became an instant fan favorite and sometimes a villain, especially to his fellow cast members. His booming "yoop" became so iconic that he later put it on t-shirts, hats, and even his own trucks. Despite his popularity amongst fans, Dave's time on Storage Wars hasn't always been smooth. After starring strongly in the earliest seasons, his absence in Season 4 in 2013 surprised many fans. At the time, the reason for his departure wasn't fully clear, leading to speculation and questions from viewers about what had happened behind the scenes. The truth is that Dave's exit wasn't just a regular cast shakeup. It stemmed from a major dispute between him and the show's producers. After the third season, Dave filed a lawsuit against A&E and the production company, with claims that nearly brought the show to a halt. This led to one of the most explosive scandals in the history of Storage Wars. Most people believe that Dave simply called out the show for being staged rather than a purely authentic depiction of storage auctions often preached. However, his public revelation went beyond that. It dragged some cast members into the negative spotlight, building enmity and feuds among some of the cast members and Dave. So, what were some of the revelations that shook Storage Wars to its very foundation? The startling revelation. Nobody initially expected Dave Hester to take his fight off the auction floor and straight into the courtroom. In a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, Dave first accused A&E of wrongful termination and breach of contract. Then he mentioned the unfair business practices, and that was just the beginning of his claims. According to the complaint, Dave didn't just feel wronged as an employee. He claimed the network had misled viewers by presenting Storage Wars as a real unscripted look at abandoned storage unit auctions, while secretly manipulating what audiences saw on screen. In short, he alleged that the show wasn't as real as it claimed to be. One of his biggest accusations was that producers planted valuable items inside storage units to create better TV moments. Dave pointed to specific examples that raised red flags for him. In one episode, a newspaper announcing Elvis Presley's death was discovered, a rare and highly collectible item that just happened to show up at the perfect time. In another case, a BMW Mini Cooper was allegedly found buried beneath piles of trash, something Dave suggested was highly unlikely in a genuinely abandoned unit. According to Dave, these moments were staged, and when he raised concerns about it behind the scenes, things quickly went south. In the lawsuit, he claimed that he warned producers that salting the storage units, planting items to drive drama, could be misleading to viewers and possibly even illegal. Instead of addressing his concerns, Dave alleged that the network responded by firing him. To make matters worse, Dave said that A&E initially offered to keep him on for the upcoming season, only to later pull that offer once tensions escalated. From his perspective, speaking up cost him his job. The lawsuit went even further, stating that despite Storage Wars branding itself as a non-fiction series that accurately portrays real storage auctions, nearly every aspect of the series is fake. That was a bold claim, especially considering the show's massive popularity at the time. Backing Dave's case was high-profile entertainment attorney Marty Singer, a name well known in Hollywood legal circles. With Singer representing him, Dave sought damages exceeding $750,000, signaling that this wasn't just about hurt feelings. It was about contracts, credibility, and money. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through the fan base. Viewers who had followed the show religiously suddenly began questioning what was real and what wasn't. Was the drama genuine? Were the fines truly random? Or was everything carefully crafted for TV? More groundbreaking accusations. As Dave Hester's lawsuit against A&E unfolded, even more eyebrow-raising claims about storage wars began to surface. According to Dave, the show's behind-the-scenes reality looked very different from what viewers saw on TV, and he didn't hold back when laying it all out. One of his biggest claims was that the interviews with cast members were scripted. While fans may assume those sit-down confessionals are spontaneous reactions, Dave alleged that producers often fed the stars lines or guided what they were supposed to say. That might explain why cast members sometimes sound more polished during interviews than they do in real auction settings. But that was just the start. Dave also claimed that many scenes, including the loud, high-energy auctions fans love, were staged or recreated by producers. According to the lawsuit, A&E would sometimes film cast members and members of the public pretending to bid when no actual auction was happening. This footage was then edited together to make it look like certain buyers were actively competing for units, whether or not they were really bidding at that time. In other words, even if an auction did happen, the show might use extra footage to reshape how it looked on screen. Another major allegation involved money. Dave claimed that A&E paid for storage units on behalf of certain cast members who couldn't afford to bid on their own. According to the lawsuit, this was done selectively, giving weaker or less experienced buyers an advantage over seasoned bidders like himself. From Dave's perspective, that tilted the playing field and undermined the competitive authenticity of the show. Perhaps the most controversial claim involved plastic surgery. Dave alleged that the network paid for cosmetic procedures for certain female cast members to increase sex appeal and boost ratings. He went so far as to say that nearly every aspect of the show was manipulated, even the appearance of the stars themselves. The lead female figures on Storage Wars include bidder Brandy Passante and auctioneer Laura Dotson, who runs auctions alongside her husband, Dan Dotson. While the lawsuit didn't name specific individuals in every claim, the implication stirred plenty of speculation and debate among fans. This wasn't the first time the show's authenticity had been questioned. According to Dave, viewer concerns had previously prompted Storage Wars to issue a public statement defending its legitimacy. In that press release, the series insisted there was no staging involved and that the items discovered in storage units were genuinely found during auctions. "There is no staging involved," the statement reportedly said. "The items uncovered in the storage units are the actual items featured on the show." Still, Dave's lawsuit reopened the conversation in a big way. Despite the damage of Dave's accusations, it only got worse when one of the Storage Wars producers admitted to the wrongdoings. Who is this person, and what did they say? The unexpected confirmation. As the controversy around Storage Wars continued to grow, things got even more interesting when executive producer Tom Beers weighed in himself. While Dave Hester's lawsuit accused the show of being outright fake and a fraud, Beers offered a more nuanced explanation, one that landed somewhere in the gray area between reality and television storytelling. Beers addressed the issue during a panel discussion on reality TV held on June 18th in Washington, D.C. The event was sponsored by the National Geographic Channel and took place just ahead of the premiere of Beers' new series, America's Lost Treasures. The panel was moderated by TV guide writer Damian Holbrook and featured several media voices discussing how reality TV is actually made behind the scenes. Naturally, the topic of storage wars came up, and so did the long-running rumors about salting storage lockers, meaning producers planting or moving items to make auctions more exciting. When fellow panelist Kate O'Hare brought up those rumors directly, Beers responded carefully. He insisted that the items found on Storage Wars are real and genuinely come from storage lockers. However, he also admitted that the show sometimes rearranges things for storytelling purposes. According to Beers, production crews might attend 20 or even 30 auctions, but television constraints don't allow viewers to watch all of them. So occasionally, an interesting item from one locker might be moved into another to create a more compelling episode. In Beers' words, they might move one piece from one storage unit to another, and that's where they draw the line. In simple terms, what Beers described isn't exactly pure reality, but it's also not entirely fake. The bidders still compete for a locker that contains those items. They just weren't all originally in the same unit. For producers, it's a way to condense hours of footage into a tight, entertaining episode without completely inventing outcomes. That explanation stands in sharp contrast to Dave Hester's accusations. In his lawsuit, Dave claimed the show went much further, alleging that entire storage units were staged and that valuable memorabilia was regularly planted to deceive viewers. If Beers' account is accurate, then Dave's claims may have overstated what was actually happening behind the scenes. But locker staging wasn't the only admission Beers made that raised eyebrows. He also openly discussed scripting, or at least partially scripting, what cast members say on the show. According to Beers, producers often write lines for cast members as a replacement for traditional narration. Instead of a voiceover explaining what's happening, they prefer to have the buyers themselves drive the story. Beers admitted that about half of what cast members say is fed to them by producers, though they're usually allowed to put things in their own words. The goal, he explained, is to guide the story without fully scripting it like a drama series. This makes sense to longtime viewers who have noticed that cast members often sound more natural and less polished during interviews than during auction scenes. They aren't trained actors, and the contrast can be obvious. Beers defended the practice by saying he's tired of narration-driving story. Instead, he wants the cast to tell the story themselves, even if that means setting them up with specific talking points. In his view, the story is still real. Producers are just helping shape how it's told. Still, these admissions fueled even more debate among fans. Some felt relieved, believing the show wasn't entirely fake after all. Others felt misled, arguing that any manipulation crosses the line for a show marketed as non-fiction. Interestingly, Dave didn't only have problems with the dynamics of the show, he also happens to have exchanged punches with fellow cast members, but it goes beyond the fight. When tension brews over, one of the most uncomfortable and talked about moments in Storage Wars history went down in Season 8, Episode 7, appropriately titled Palm Springs Throwdown. What started as a routine auction quickly spiraled into something no one expected, a full-blown physical fight over a storage locker. The scene takes place during an auction run by longtime auctioneer Dan Dotson, with his wife Laura Dotson assisting as usual. After Dan declared a winning bid, a woman named Mary immediately spoke up, claiming her bid had been ignored. That's when Dave Hester stepped in. Drawing on his experience, Dave pointed out that an auctioneer has the authority to reopen bidding if there's any confusion or dispute. But Dan wasn't interested in revisiting the call. He stood by his decision, and the tension between him and Dave escalated fast. What followed felt less like a professional disagreement and more like something straight out of a schoolyard. Two grown men exchanging punches over the contents of an abandoned storage unit. Watching the footage back doesn't make things much clearer. Mary can be seen raising her hand, but it's hard to tell whether she was actually making a bid or signaling that she was out. The audio is unclear, and her gesture could easily be interpreted either way. That uncertainty only adds to the chaos that unfolds next. As tempers flare, Dan and Dave end up in a physical altercation. Laura attempts to jump in and help her husband, pulling Dave away and striking him on the back of the head. That's when things cross an even bigger line. Dave reacts by throwing Laura to the ground. The moment is shocking, messy, and deeply uncomfortable to watch, even by reality TV standards. What makes the incident even more complicated is the timing. This confrontation happened after Dave's lawsuit against A&E, his firing from the show, and his eventual return. Given Dave's public accusations that the show was staged, along with executive producer Tom Beer's later admissions that parts of Storage Wars were manipulated for storytelling, fans were left wondering, was this fight actually real? Almost immediately after the episode aired, viewers began questioning its authenticity. Discussions popped up online, especially on Reddit, where fans debated whether the brawl was genuine or staged. In one thread, posted to the r/cringe subreddit, a user flat out declared, "This is staged and fake." Others weren't so sure. One commenter argued that Dave's reaction, particularly the way he shoved Laura, felt too sudden and intense to be scripted. Another pointed out Laura's fall, suggesting it looked exaggerated or staged. Adding fuel to the fire, TMZ later released what they claimed was real cell phone footage taken after the incident. According to TMZ, the aftermath supported the idea that the fight was real. They even reported that Dave ended up at the hospital to receive a tetanus shot after. Laura's nails allegedly broke the skin during the scuffle. Of course, TMZ's involvement raised its own questions. While the outlet is known for breaking celebrity news, it also has a reputation for sensationalism. Some fans speculated that even the leaked footage could have been part of a publicity stunt designed to generate buzz. In the end, there's no definitive answer. The fight may have been real, partially staged, or something in between, which, ironically, fits perfectly with the ongoing debate about Storage Wars itself. What is clear is that the scene remains one of the most cringeworthy moments in the show's history. Despite all the drama, feuds, health issues, and controversy, Dave returned to the show. But why? Shocking comeback. After resolving the dispute, Dave did make his way back to Storage Wars. He returned during Season 5 and continued to be a major presence on the show through Season 12, thrilling audiences with both big finds and big drama. However, after Season 12, Dave again stepped away from the show, this time for deeply personal reasons. Around 2018, he suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, which was linked to health issues including sleep apnea and high blood pressure. The stroke was severe and required significant medical care and rehabilitation. As a result, Dave was absent from seasons 13 to 15 while he focused on his recovery. Fans noticed his absence during those seasons and frequently asked where the loud "Yoop" the bitter had gone. Though others like Brandy Passante and Jared Schultz continued on the show, Dave's missing presence left a gap in the auction room dynamic. Many viewers missed his fiery competitive spirit, which helped define the tone of the early Storage Wars episodes. In 2025, however, Dave made headlines again, this time for a surprise return to Storage Wars in Season 16 after his health improved. TMZ broke the news on June 26th, confirming that Dave is officially stepping back into the high-stakes world of abandoned storage units after recovering from a stroke. For fans, this comeback hits hard with nostalgia. His sudden appearance in the new season, which airs Saturdays at 9 p.m. ET/PT, reportedly caught several cast members completely off guard. According to reports, buyers like Renee Nzoda, Ivy Calvin, and Brandy Passante weren't exactly thrilled to see one of their fiercest competitors back in action. Even after everything he's been through, Dave doesn't seem interested in toning things down. In fact, he appears healthier, confident, and fully ready to slip right back into his longtime role as the show's resident antagonist. Love him or hate him, Dave Hester knows how to stir the pot, and Storage Wars has never been short on drama when he's around. Now, with Dave Hester back in the mix, the show is leaning straight into its roots. His return isn't just about auctions, it's about rivalries, tension, and unfinished business. After surviving a major health setback, Dave's comeback feels personal, dramatic, and perfectly on brand. Whether viewers are rooting for him or hoping someone finally outbids him, one thing's clear: Storage Wars just got a whole lot louder again. And with the mogul back, the auction floor is anything but predictable. Now that many fans believe Storage Wars is salted and partially scripted, will that knowledge change how audiences connect with the drama and rivalries moving forward? Or will the show adapt by embracing transparency and authenticity in a way that reshapes its future and keeps longtime fans invested despite what they now know? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.